How is the budget looking, and are we looking at another long string of property tax cuts? Can you keep this thing going? There's been the legacy of the Delaney administration, and now through yours, another 1.5%.
Well, I think we can be proud of the fact that over the past.
Where does that stand at this point? And I also understand that at the council meeting on Tuesday, there was some question about whether or not the federal government requires that African Americans do get specific mention in minority contracting laws, and will our law cover that federal requirement?
Well, if you're using federal dollars, there probably is a requirement.
And when they look at what's happening here in Northeast Florida, there's a concern that what's happening is that we're being punished for some of the excesses of what's gone on in South Florida. Is there some indication that there's a disconnect there between those two areas of the state?
No, I think they made that argument very well in Tallahassee. In fact, through the delegation,
But when you think about the call for assistance that came from South Africa, there has been no such call from the Iraqi people. The sanctions have been in place against Iraq for some time, and I understand that there are some holes in the sanctions. Should that just be given more time to work?
No, I don't myself believe, in fact, that we are doing quite the right thing.
I want to start, Ron, I want to go back to the whole concept of the subprime mortgage. This has been traditionally a legitimate tool in the mortgage industry, has it not?
It is, but what's happened is what kind of a little bit what Lynn said was when somebody starts coming mainstream. A lot of people hear me say this all the time, that oftentimes there's really no bad products, but they're mostly misapplied products.
How did we get in Jacksonville, Florida, to be the number 15 foreclosure market in the country? I think that we hear that statistic and say that we have the 15th most foreclosures in the nation in Jacksonville, and a lot of us are scratching our heads and saying, how did we get here? Does anybody have any idea why there's such a concentration here? I'm getting silence around the table.
Well, I think there are as many reasons that people go into foreclosure as there are people buying homes.
From its origins in the marshes and sawgrass of central Florida, the St. Johns River flows slowly north 310 miles to its mouth at Mayport. But the slow-moving river that some see as the First Coast's crown jewel has come under extraordinary pressure from industrial and residential development. While efforts to clean up the river are ongoing, the blue-green algae blooms that have become too familiar are simply the most visible symptom of what many say is a very sick river. We'll explore what's currently being done and the future of the St. Johns on this First Coast Forum, Green River Blues. Because I think there's still some confusion about what is a point source and what is a non-point source.
Okay. You know, I sort of make somewhat of a joke when I said a point source is something you can point at, but it is really the...
I hope you found the discussion to be informative, and if you take nothing else away from this program, know at least that the health of the St. Johns River falls to each of us as individuals and to us collectively as a community. Thank you very much for joining us. For Lucy Nalpathanchel and everyone here at WJCT, I'm Tom Patton.